We can begin. Wait, I'm gonna. How do you unmute people? Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you for being with us. Marwan, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, hello, good afternoon.
Hi Marwan, thank you for being with us today, and thank you everyone for connecting for this virtual tour of Lebanon that we already did about a year ago. I think it was with Shireen, and yeah, so we decided to do it again now on the global travel group. So thank you again. I see more people are joining. I'm just gonna stop the waiting room this way people can just join in. Yeah. I see many familiar faces with us. Thanks so much for being. I see on the top of my screen Susan from Toulouse. Hi, Susan. Thank you for connecting. Yeah, let's yeah. And Shireen, thank you. Vera, Marco, yeah, lots of familiar faces. Thank you so much for being with us today. And I hope you're going to enjoy this virtual tour. There will be a part in the beginning where I will be speaking. Marwan, as an expert in wine, he will be telling us for a few minutes about the wine of Lebanon, giving us his expert view. I already have my glass here. It doesn't show well because I have the virtual background, but I already have a glass of wine. So yeah. And Gao, hi, man. Thank you so much for connecting. And if you are all ready, we're going to start this tour. I'm going to begin sharing my screen. You can write your questions if you want on the chat. And after the virtual tour, we're going to have a Q&A part where you can ask all your questions. So I'm going to share my screen. Give me a sec. So let me just see. Okay, I'm gonna Marwan, can you confirm to me that you can see my slideshow, my screen? Okay, perfect, thanks. So just to tell you, we'll be recording this event, but only the presentation part will be shown. So no worries, your faces and will not be shown. So no worries about this. So thank you again for being with us. Just a quick for all the people who don't know, because I became council of the global travel group like recently. I've done many InterNations virtual tours during the last months on so many groups, and I'm also InterNations ambassador of Bordeaux. I have been living in Bordeaux for 4 years now, but as you know, I'm originally from Lebanon, and this is why I thought let's do like my first virtual tour on the global travel group. I want to do it about Lebanon. So let's begin. Lebanon has always, had many names during the last years and during the centuries also. As you see, as I written here, Lebanon has always been called the country of opposites, the jewel of the Eastern Mediterranean, and the most beautiful mess. Perhaps you heard before a lot about Lebanon. You know, there has been many political problems in Lebanon. It's a country that went through some very difficult moments, but it's a country that is so resilient. It's people, the Lebanese people are people that are, for me, not because I'm Lebanese, but it's the truth. They are the synonym of the love for life. It's the people of Lebanon are always here. They thrive to enjoy every moment, and this is the purpose of this virtual tour, to try and show you all the things that this country has offered. So how this presentation is going to go? First of all, I'm going to give you some general facts about Lebanon. Then I'm going to show you some cities that you can visit in Lebanon. Of course, you have to know that we're doing a whole presentation about a whole country in 1 hour or 1 hour and 15 minutes. We cannot talk about the whole country. So everything you're going to see are samples of what the country has to offer. And after that, we are going to go to the food part. And I know many people are waiting for this food part, where we're going to talk about the food in Lebanon and also about the wine, where Marwan is going to tell us more about the wine of Lebanon. And then we're going to talk about the nightlife. And then we move to the Q&A section. In between the slides, there will be many videos that we're going to be showing. So just to tell you, Lebanon is really the country where even with the biggest problems happening, the people are always trying to enjoy every moment and making the most out of every day. And I think the best aspect of Lebanon is the hospitality and how much the people in Lebanon are friendly. And I think this is the thing that most tourists are going to find from the moment they set foot in Lebanon, is that the Lebanese people are not going to just smile at you or something. They are people that will literally go above and beyond in order to ensure that you're going to have a great trip in their country. It's a very beautiful mix of so many cultures, and this is what we're going to discover together. So first of all, I'm just going to start with some basic information about Lebanon. So Lebanon is a very small country. You know, it's 1,542 square meters, the area of Lebanon. Approximately, there are 4 million Lebanese. The population is about 4 million Lebanese, but there are about 12 million living abroad. And the currency of Lebanon is the Lebanese lira, the one that you see here. And this is the flag of Lebanon, known with the cedar of Lebanon in the middle. Lebanon is really a country that is for all tourists. So should you like history, should you like culture, should you like nightlife, should you like swimming or sports activities or hiking or winter activities, here you are going to be really very well served. Because in Lebanon, there's something for everyone. And this is what we're going to see now in the presentation. A few quick facts also before we dive in the presentation. Lebanon has 18 religious communities living together. Beirut is said to be destroyed and rebuilt 7 times. This is why it is referred to as the Phoenix. Lebanon has no desert. Byblos, which is a city to the north of Lebanon, is one of the oldest continually living city in the world. The first alphabet was created in Byblos, which is like the Phoenician alphabet. We're going to talk more about it because the Phoenicians used to be exist like Byblos used to be a Phoenician city. We're going to tell you more about it later. And most Lebanese speak at least 3 languages, because in Lebanon it's mandatory for everyone to learn Arabic and French and English. So this is why most Lebanese speak 3 languages. For me, for example, I also speak Italian because we had Italian courses in school in addition to French and English and Arabic. So these were a few quick facts about the country. So I would like to begin here just by a quote that I read once on the Daily Mail that really impressed me, and I think it really represents Lebanon and life in Lebanon, how it is in reality, which says, "Life in Lebanon is like drinking champagne at the top of a volcano. There is chaos all around us, but at least we have a good time." This is what I was telling you just right now, is that Lebanese people, with all the problems happening, we at night, everyone goes out, we go to pubs, we go to bars, we go to enjoy our time. Even with all the problems happening, we always find a way to have a good time. This is why they say that living in Lebanon is like drinking champagne at the top of a volcano. So here I just listed a bit about how the presentation is going to be done, even though it's not really in this order. I'm going to begin telling you about Beirut. We're going to talk about the food, the nightlife, and also the summers and the winters in Lebanon. So let's begin with the first part of our presentation, where I chose a few cities that are, let's say, the most known cities of the country that you can visit. But as I told you, it's only a sample because there are many others that you can visit in Lebanon. And then I'm going to show you some activities and some natural landscapes that you can enjoy. Let's begin first of all with Beirut. To just tell you, I have a series of notes I took in front of me, and I might read from time to time just so that I don't forget anything that I want to tell you. Logically, Beirut, the capital of the country, the must-visit city when you arrive. It's a very diverse city. It's a very vibrant and energetic city. And I can tell you, once you are there, you are immediately going to feel its energy and its vibration. Its streets, as you see, especially at night, it's so beautiful to wander in these streets, to walk around, to sit in a cafe, to sit in a bar, and just enjoy the city all around you. What I like a lot is that inside the city, if you are really interested in history, in culture, inside the city of Beirut, like in the downtown, you have all this area where you can find Roman baths, so it's like archaeological findings that are in the heart of Beirut. They were found, discovered in 1968, and basically they date from the first century AD approximately. Because among all the civilizations that passed through Lebanon, the Romans had the biggest impact. And here in the heart of Beirut, while just walking around the city, you can witness and marvel these amazing old Roman baths. Moreover, here are more pictures of the city. You have the picture to the top right that represents the heart of the downtown of Beirut that we call Place de l'Étoile. And these are just pictures to show you the beauty of the city at night and why it is always referred to as the Paris of the Middle East. In addition to when it's Christmas time, I can tell you there are lots of beautiful Christmas decorations in Beirut. But other than the downtown of Beirut, there are also other streets and areas around the capital that are also must visit. And let's move now to the Beirut National Museum. A must visit, in my opinion, for all tourists, because this Beirut National Museum is, if you like, it's like the main museum even in all of Lebanon. This museum opened in 1942, and there are about 100,000 pieces of archaeology, of antiques that date back from antiquity until the medieval ages. However, the pieces that are shown inside it are about 1,000 or 2,000 pieces. And there's a very nice story about this museum that during the civil war in Lebanon that began in 1975, there were three people who used to work in this museum, and one of which is a friend of my father's who told me the story. They were afraid that people would come inside the museum and steal all the artifacts. So they took them into an underground floor, like under the museum, and they put them in a room and built a concrete wall in front of them, so that if anyone comes inside, they will just see a concrete wall and they will not know that there are valuable artifacts behind it. And they swore never to say anything about this until the civil war is over. This is what happened in 1990 when the civil war is over. They told everyone that the artifacts are behind this wall. They demolished the walls, and the artifacts were safe. So now this museum welcomes about 40 to 45,000 visitors every year, and it's a must visit because it's a synonym to the history of Lebanon and the whole area. Moving on, also staying in Beirut, I think no trip to Beirut is complete without visiting the Corniche of Beirut. Basically, the Corniche is like a seaside walk, you know, as you see in the pictures, a seaside promenade where you can enjoy the beauty of the sea, where you can have a great view towards the Mediterranean. And what's beautiful about it is that you see the picture here in the middle. If it's winter time, are walking just next to the sea, and you can see all the snowy mountains, because from the Mediterranean, from the coast, to arrive to the mountains in Lebanon is so close. This is one of the beauties of the country. So basically, you need about 35 to 40 minutes drive to arrive to the ski stations. So you are walking next to the sea, and you can see all the snowy mountains. It's really an amazing view. What I like the most about this Corniche also are all these small kiosks, you know, where you can buy some juice cocktails, buy something, grab something to eat while you are walking around and enjoying the views. And now moving on, we move to Hamra Street. This is also a street in Beirut. We are staying in Beirut here, but it's like another region in the city next to the downtown. Hamra Street is one of the places where I spend a lot of my time when I go there. As you see, it's a very vibrant area where you have lots of shops, lots of cafes, lots of pubs, lots of bars. where it's always filled with people. Hamra Street is very well known because in the past it used to be the cultural and intellectual center of the Arab world. Like most journalists, intellectuals used to come to Beirut, and especially this street, in order to organize seminars, to organize meetings. So it has really an important cultural, let's say, it's very important on a cultural level, and it's a street where you can just wander around and enjoy the energy that you can find when you are there, especially in my opinion at night. Another street that is similar to Hamra Street when you are in Beirut and is a must visit is this area that you see here in front of you. This area is called Jemmaise and Mar Mikhael Street. Basically, it is an area that is filled with narrow streets as you see, and the buildings are all from the French era, so architecture is really nice. If you pass by during the day, you can just go for a bike ride, or you can just walk around, have a coffee, have breakfast. There are lots of small shops. And at night, these streets, as you see in the picture to the bottom left, transforms into a nightlife street. So Jumeirah and Michael are filled with pubs and bars, and basically, like, because last time I was in Beirut, it was last June, and the Jumeirah Street is basically like this. Like, the roads are completely closed with people partying, having drinks, enjoying their time. It is like the heart of nightlife of Beirut. What I like also about it is that there are lots of cultural places, such as this place, these pictures to the bottom, which is called Alia's Books. It's like a cafe and a library at the same time. They always organize storytelling events, cultural exchange events, language exchange events. So all these beautiful exchange events, you can find them in these streets in Beirut. And here are more pictures of Jemmaise and Mar Mikhael, how the ambience is every night, even if you go on a Monday, because just to tell you, in Lebanon, a Monday is like a Saturday. We go out every night approximately, and this is what I used to do when I was still living in Lebanon. Every Monday is like every Saturday. We go out every night to have a drink and to enjoy our time. So this was Jemmaise and Mar Mikhael. And one last thing I'm going to show you in Beirut that is, in my opinion, must visit. It's the Sursuk Museum, the one that you see in front of you. The Sursuk Museum, in my opinion, is like one of the most important cultural destinations in Lebanon. The story behind it is really nice. Basically, there was this guy called Nicolas Sursuk. I think he died in the 1960s. He had a big mansion, and this villa was part of this mansion. He was a very rich guy, had literally lots of money. And before he died, in his will, he wrote that he wanted his villa to be transformed into a museum, and he gave it to the city of Beirut. And since then, since his death, this villa was transformed into a museum, where there's kind of a permanent exhibition where you can see the rooms, his office, and everything that belonged to him. And on another floor, you can see the temporary exhibitions that change every few months. It's a free museum, because this is what he asked Nicolas Sursuk before he dies. So when you go inside, if you want, you can give some money, put some money as a donation. However, it's a completely free museum. In my opinion, it's something that is a must visit when you are in Beirut. So these are the places about Beirut. Of course, there are many other things to do in Beirut, but since Lebanon is a country with many other cities, we cannot talk about Beirut for 1 hour. So now we're going to move to another area, which is, let me see, which is Baalbek. Yeah. So now we're completely outside Beirut, and now we are in Baalbek, which is about 86 kilometers northeast of the city, where you're going to find the temple complex, this amazing temple complex. So it has the temple of Bacchus, of Jupiter, and also of Venus. I mean, even if you look at the pictures now, you cannot imagine how wonderful it is and how huge these temples are. Perhaps you can look at the picture to the top left, and you can see the scale. You see the person standing here, and the height of the temple compared to the person. Baalbek used to be called in ancient Greek Heliopolis, which is the city the sun. So now it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You can take guided tours inside it, or you can just go visit it by yourself. But if you are into culture and into history, it is a must visit place. It's part of the culture of all of humanity, not also of Lebanon. And in addition to all this, every summer there is what we call the Baalbek International Festival, as you see in the picture, the bottom right, where there are national and international artists that come from all over the world to do concerts inside these temples. And I can tell you, it's quite magical to have concerts inside these Roman temples that date for thousands of years. Now we're gonna move to Byblos. Byblos, this is like my favorite city. It's my personal opinion, and it's like I think one of the most iconic cities on the Mediterranean. And I think it's also the favorite among tourists and also among Lebanese. I have many friends who go to Lebanon, and when I meet tourists in Lebanon, like the first question they ask, how do we go to Byblos? Basically, Byblos was also a Phoenician city, and this is where the Phoenician language was created. As you see, the Phoenician language is a picture you see to the right. So what you can do in Byblos is first of all walk around the souks, as you see in this picture to the top right. You have the souks with all the souvenir shops, with some cafes, with some local products. It's really nice just to walk around it. Another thing you can do is visit the Crusaders Castle, which is to the bottom left. This one you have to pay to go inside, but this Crusaders Castle was built in the 12th century, and if you are into everything history, it is also a must visit. And in my opinion, the most beautiful thing to do is just walk around Byblos Harbor. You see when you what you see on the picture to the top left, because there you have a beautiful view towards the Mediterranean. And if you have some time, you can just pay, all these boats. You can take a boat ride. All of them are locals, people from Byblos who have boats. You can just pay and take a boat ride for 1 hour, for 2 hours around the Mediterranean and around the city. At the same time, this city and all the souks that you see here, at night they transform completely into a nightlife city, as you see in the picture to the bottom right. And here, pubs are completely filled with people. I remember we used to drive for 1 hour approximately from Beirut every Saturday just to party in Byblos, and then come back to Beirut at 3 or 4 in the morning. Really nice nightlife in Beirut. And before leaving Byblos, I just want to show you some pictures of how Christmas is in Byblos, because all cities in Lebanon are decorated for Christmas, but Byblos itself is always so innovative, so creative, let's say. And every year, literally all of Lebanon comes to Byblos during Christmas time in order to enjoy Christmas lights and Christmas decorations. Usually the drive from Beirut to Lebanon takes 45 minutes. From Beirut to Byblos takes 45 minutes, but during Christmas time you can wait for 2 hours, 3 hours because of all the traffic. But it's really very nice atmosphere. So now after Byblos, we're going to go to, let's see, Saida. Saida, now here we are more to the south. So Byblos was to the north, about 45 minutes to the north of Beirut. Saida is the south of Beirut, and Saida is also one of the most ancient cities on the Mediterranean, one of the most ancient Phoenician cities. Saida, what I like about it, first of all, what I highly recommend is just walk around the street, wander around to get lost, and enjoy the beauty of the streets with all the colored buildings, as you see in the picture in the middle, with the colored windows, and to enjoy the souks, as you see in the picture to the right. There are souks where you can literally find anything you can think of. Should it be clothes, should it be food, should it be vegetables, meat, fish? You can really find anything you want. And if you want to know more things about the history of the city, you can also visit the Sea Castle, which you can see to the in the pictures to the left, which is a castle that was built by the Crusaders in the 13th century in the sea, and it is linked the mainland, but with this narrow road, so you can visit this castle if you are interested in knowing more about the history of the city. And after Saida, now we're moving to Batroun. So Batroun is it's one of my favorite cities. So basically, I can tell you I have like Byblos is my favorite, and after Byblos comes Batroun. Batroun, here we are also to the north of Beirut, also a Mediterranean, a coastal city, about 1 hour drive from Beirut. Batroun is known for many things. First of all, you have the beautiful beaches as you see in the picture to the bottom right. So I personally, whenever I want to go for a swim when summertime in Lebanon, I drive from Beirut to Batroun for about 1 hour, 1 hour 15 minutes in order to enjoy the beautiful beaches. They are very well known, and it's a great place for swimming and to enjoy summertime. This is the first thing. Second thing is just walking around all the cobblestone streets, as you see in the picture to the left. It's so magical, and especially at night. I didn't put a picture at night, I just thought of it. But walking in Batroun is so magical to enjoy all this medieval architecture, all these beautiful houses is really so amazing. And the most important thing when you are in Batroun, you should not forget, because your trip there will never be complete without it, is the lemonade. Batroun is very well known for its lemonade, as you see in the picture to the top right. And every few meters in Batroun, you have a shop for lemonade. It's like a cultural thing. People there use lemonade, and everyone who goes there should drink lemonade. The pictures you see are from one of the shops. You can recognize it by the yellow windows, called Helmi. It's like the most known one, and you can get lemonade from there or from any other shop. But lemonade in Batroun is something that you need to taste. Other things that you can do also when you are in Batroun is the sunset bars. So sunset bars are something in Lebanon that are present basically everywhere, not only in Batroun. They are in Batroun, in Byblos, in most of the coastal cities. But in Batroun, they are very well known. And this is the place where I went many times during my last trip to Lebanon in June. It's called the Titans. So the idea is very simple. Basically, it's like an old building, and they took the rooftop and transformed it into a bar, a sunset bar, where all you do is just you go, you have a drink, and you enjoy the beauty of the sun setting. This is one of so many other sunset bars, and of course with music and everything. And I'm sure just going there gives you such a beautiful and such an amazing experience. Another thing that you can do when you are in Batroun is also, if you are into history, as we were talking about the Phoenicians, Batroun also is a Phoenician city. And there's in Batroun this small church that you see in the pictures here. It's the Church of Our Lady of the Sea. When you go to this church, on the terrace, let's say, of the church, you can see this huge wall that you can see in the picture to the top left. This huge wall is called the Phoenician Wall. It was built by the Phoenicians, but as far as I heard, it was like built in natural ways, but like the Phoenicians made it bigger or something in order to defend the city from invaders. And until today, part of this wall still exists. And if you'd like, you can also just take a walk here and climb the wall. I did it many times with tourists, and walk on the wall. It is safe. It's not very dangerous, but you should just pay attention. But it's really a nice view, especially when you are standing on the wall. So this is the Phoenician wall of Batroun. Moving on, now we're going to Tripoli, and which is more to the north of Lebanon. You see the map here. So this is Beirut, and this is Tripoli, really to the north of Lebanon. Byblos and Batroun come before Tripoli. So Tripoli basically is the second biggest city of Lebanon after Beirut. And these cities are literally lots of things that you can do. I went there 2 times, and I was always amazed by the energy that you can feel in Tripoli, and by how friendly the people there are. First of all, in Tripoli, there's a kind of a corniche, a seaside promenade, just like in Beirut that you can see in the picture to the top left, where you can enjoy the view towards the Mediterranean. You can go and admire all the souks, as you see in the picture to the top right, similar as to the souks that you can find inside us that we talked about before, where you can find meat, vegetables, jewelry, clothes, really whatever you think of, you can literally find them in Tripoli. In addition to all this, you can enjoy the sweets of Tripoli. So basically, we're gonna arrive to a section of food, but everywhere in Lebanon, sweets are so delicious and you can enjoy them everywhere. However, Tripoli is really very well known for its sweets, and every few meters you have a sweets shop. So the idea is that even if you try to resist eating sweets, I think at some point you're just going to surrender, because you will find lots of sweet shops wherever you go. You're just going to surrender and you're just going to grab a bite. In addition to all this, Tripoli is very well known for soap and everything related to oil-based soaps and products. You can go to this place in the bottom picture that's called Khan Sabun, where they literally produce soap and everything related to oil-based products. So this was Tripoli. Now, after Tripoli, we are going to move to Dakhli. So if you see on the map here of Lebanon to the left, to the top left, Dakhli is not a coastal city. All the cities we talked about until now were coastal cities. You have Tripoli, you have Beirut, you have Saida here, and Byblos and Betroun. Dakhli is not a coastal city. It's more to the inside. It's a city in the Bekaa Valley of Lebanon. And it's very well known for its wine. I think Marwan will tell us more about it later on. And Dakhli is the third biggest city of Lebanon after Beirut and after Tripoli. It was called many names during the years, such as the Bride of the Bekaa, and also the City of Wine and Poetry. If you want to really have delicious Lebanese food, I mean, you can have delicious Lebanese food everywhere, but Dakhli is very well known for the traditional Lebanese food, where you can enjoy the real taste of Lebanese food. And what I like a lot about the city is, if you look at the picture in the middle, the bottom of the middle, it's like the city is in the valley. When it's winter time, it is surrounded by all the snowy white mountains. It is really so magical. There are lots of beautiful parks, lots of activities to do there. And if you like a beautiful view towards the whole city, you can also visit the chapel of Our Lady of Dakhli, the one you see the picture to the top right. It's a huge, there's a huge statue of Virgin Mary. The statue is about 54 meters high and built by an Italian artist. And from there, you can enjoy a great view onto the city. So these were the cities I wanted to show you during the presentation. Of course, there are many others, but as I told you, I'm showing you only a sample of cities that you can see in Lebanon. And now we are going to move to natural landscapes and activities that you can do. So now I'm taking you closer to Beirut, and here we are in Jaita Grotto. I think many of you perhaps already heard of Jaita Grotto, which is basically, we can say it's like the jewel of tourism in Lebanon. Inside it, as you see in the pictures, you have literally fascinating nature. And just to tell you quickly the story of it, this site, the Jaita Grotto, were discovered, I'm just going to see my notes, were discovered in 1836 by an American missionary. When he went, like he saw a cave, the cave was like 50 meters deep. But when he was inside, he fired a gun and everything was lit. And when everything was lit, he saw that this cave goes even deeper and deeper and deeper. And this is how the Jaita Grotto was discovered. In order to arrive there, this is part of the beautiful trip. You have to go to Jounieh area. I'm going to show you a picture of it later, which is about 30 minutes from Beirut. And then you arrive to a place where you take these cable cars. These cable cars take you to the entrance of the Jaita Grotto. The Jaita Grotto is composed of two levels. You have the upper level that you see on the bottom pictures. You can go just walk you can just walk around it, it's like a walking tour inside. And you have the other level where you have a boat tour. So you can do both of them. I think it's like $15 or something, the entrance. I can't remember well, but it is such an amazing place and a must visit whenever you are in Lebanon, because you see all the natural formations here it's just magical. And while we're speaking about cable cars and going places with cable cars, if you like cable cars, there's another place that you can visit in Lebanon, which is what you call Harissa, or Our Lady of Lebanon. Basically, Our Lady of Lebanon, as you see in the picture, is a big monastery with a big statue of the Virgin Mary. But the thing is that to arrive there, you can either go by car, or you can go, this is the picture you see to the bottom right. This is the Junia Bay. Junia area is about 30 minutes drive from Beirut. And when you arrive to the coast, next to the coast, you have the cable car office or company. And from there, you take the cable car all the way up the mountain in order to arrive to the to Our Lady of Lebanon. And from there, as you see, you have an incredible view towards the whole coast. And you can even see Beirut from there. Like if you look at the picture to the bottom left, you see the coast of Junia, and if you look more to the left, you can even see all of the city of Beirut. And you even have a better view if you go up the stairs of the tower. If you want to have something to eat with this incredible view, you can also the cable cars. Because the cable cars stop at a level before reaching the monastery, and there you have many restaurants where you can have something to eat, have something to drink, while enjoying the view towards the whole bay of Juni. So this is Our Lady of Lebanon. Now moving on. Oh yeah, and just tell you from there, I always forget about the slide. This is a picture of me when I was paragliding, the bottom pictures from Our Lady of Lebanon here, because it's so high, there are always paragliding activities. You can just book with any coach and you can do it. And this is what I did about 6 years ago. These are pictures of me, and it was such an amazing paragliding experience where I paraglide for about 30 minutes from a mountain next to Our Lady of Lebanon, and then we reach the coast. Moving on, now I'm going to show you another place, and this is a place especially for all hiking and hikers and nature lovers, which is called Balua Bal'a, as it's written here, basically in the middle. The map is next to the Batroun area, more to the northeast of Lebanon. It's about 2 hours drive from Beirut. I remember I went there about 15 years ago. I was very young at the time. I went there, and this is really natural miracle that is just done by nature. Such amazing waterfall, and it's also called the Three Bridges, because if you look at the picture to the top left, you have the upper bridge, you have the middle bridge. If you look at the picture to the right, you have the bridge, the third bridge. And between all these bridges, you have the water that falls out approximately 200, I'm just going to see my notes, yeah, 225 meters into a natural sinkhole. It is really, it's such an amazing place, an impressive place. And I wrote down other things that I found out today, that geologists say that this place is around 150 million years old. It would have been around when dinosaurs were roaming the area. Anyway, so no more dinosaurs now, only people hiking. And so as you see, in the pictures, there are always groups of people going. You can go hike by yourself, but you will never be by yourself, because you will always meet other groups of hikers hiking in the area, should it be in summertime or also in winter time, as you see in the picture to the left with all the snow. Moving on, now we're going to Ba'alim, also another paradise in Lebanon. This is also about hours drive from Beirut, but more to the south. The one we saw before, Balua Bal'a, is more to the north. Here we are more to the south. And as you see, Ba'alim, such an incredible reserve. You have the waterfalls that will follow you everywhere you go. It's really nice if you want to go there to just do a picnic with some friends. And there are lots of open spaces, and you can rent tables, you can rent chairs from many shops that are present there. For the day, you can do a barbecue, you can bring your food to do a picnic and enjoy the incredible views. And also, if you'd like, you can go hike all around these mountains, and I can assure you the waterfalls are going to follow you everywhere. What's nice about it is this lake is, you can swim inside this lake. I remember the last time I went there about 7 years ago. After before we eat, we all swam in the lake, and then we had the fire, we began the barbecue and stuff, and it was an amazing experience. So this is also another magical place if you like natural landscapes to visit in Lebanon. And my favorite, even though I've never been there, it's called the Shuwen Lake. I mean, if you just look at these pictures, it's like a painting, basically, even though it's really a picture. Shuwen is an old town in Lebanon to the north, I think, of Lebanon. And basically, Shuwen it's an old town with some traditional shops, traditional houses. But the most beautiful part of this town is what you are seeing in this picture, what we call in Lebanese Jannat Shuwen, or paradise of Shuwen. It is the dream place of all hikers. There are lots of hiking trails, as you see in the picture to the bottom right, where that takes you all around the mountains, and it then takes you to really to the bottom where you are on the same level of the lake, and you can see the beautiful colors, the beautiful turquoise color of the lake. As you see behind this tree in the middle picture, you can also camp. There are many people that camp there, that sleep the night, and then the next day they continue hiking. It's such an incredible place. I've always seen pictures of it. Unfortunately, until today, I didn't have time to go visit it, but it's on my bucket list for the next time I visit Lebanon. And the last place I'm gonna be telling you about, also amazing natural sceneries, and for all hiking lovers, is the Qadisha Valley. Qadisha Valley in Arabic, if you want to translate it, it translates into the Holy Valley. So it's what you see. I think the picture to the top right it's the best one, where you can see the valley that goes down. The idea is that you come by car, and then you take the car. There's a small road that takes you all down the valley, and there you park the car and you begin your hike. If you love history, if you love off-beaten path places, nature, tranquility, quiet places, and peace, this is the place where you have to be. Why is it called the Holy Valley? Because in this valley you will find, while hiking, lots of old monasteries that were built hundreds and hundreds of years ago, that were built in the year 200 and 300, and where hermits lived for many years. I'm going to show you another picture here where we can see the hiking trails. And the more you walk, the more you are going to find other monasteries. It's really incredible. We hiked there for 2 hours approximately, and the more we walk, the more new monasteries appeared in front of us. Monasteries such as this one you find in the picture to the bottom, and trails such as these ones. It's really an incredible hike. And in my opinion, if you have time when you come to Lebanon, because Lebanon is a small country, if you come for 5 days, you can literally do the whole country from north to south. But if you have time to really enjoy natural landscapes and culture and history while hiking, I think the Qadisha Valley is the place to be. And these are also more pictures of this amazing valley, and more pictures of the monasteries you are going to find. And by the way, the pictures to the right, it's from the Cedars Reserve, because Lebanon, the symbol of Lebanon is a cedar tree. And this is the Cedars Reserve that is just next to Qadisha Valley, to the north of Lebanon. And this reserve, they are called the Cedars of God. So this was a sample of all the natural landscapes that you can visit in Lebanon for all nature lovers and hiking lovers. So now I'm going to show you, just to talk, because lots of people to whom I tell that in Lebanon we have snow, they are surprised. So just to tell you, to confirm to you that in Lebanon we have snow, and we not only do we have snow, we also have some of the biggest ski stations in the Middle East. And here I'm showing you some pictures of some of the ski stations with the altitude, like the one to the upper left. It's a Cedar Ski Resort, which is the highest one, 2,000 meters of altitude, and then you have the other ones. So like during this time, now we're in February, snow is everywhere on the mountains, and during weekends everyone is skiing in Lebanon. This is also another village called Kfar Zibyan. I like this village a lot for, I mean, I like everywhere, but first because we have a house, a small house there. I'm going to show you a picture at the end of this presentation. And where, as you see, literally you can do all kinds of winter activities in Lebanon. Here, I'm going to show you now, because this part of the presentation is over, I'm going to show you video about the white face of Lebanon, about the snow in Lebanon as a winter season, before we move to chapters that lots of people are waiting for, which is the food of Lebanon. Just give me a sec to share the video, which is this one. Here we go. Because Vera told me the video isn't playing, I'm gonna try to play it on YouTube.
Saeed, if you could stop sharing, please, and so that we can eliminate the annotation on the screen as well. Stop sharing and also share again the video.
I'm gonna try again.
Fine. We appreciate no one annotate, please, on the screen, because I don't have the security setting. And you can stop the annotation yourself, Saeed, if you can, because you are the host.
Here?
Thank you. On security, stop annotation.
Yeah, done.
Thank you. Okay.
But was the video playing, Marwan?
The video is not playing yet.
Now.
Yes.
Okay. this was the video about the white face of Lebanon. Now back to the presentation, and just a sec. Cool. So now we're moving to Lebanese food and Lebanese cuisine, which is something I know lots of people are waiting for. I think I know one person is so so let's go for it. To be honest, I'm not really a cook, so I cannot really give you information about the ingredients and stuff. I can only tell you that everything is really delicious. But here there are pictures of what we call the manouche. It's a really traditional breakfast of Lebanon. It's like a Lebanese pizza, if you want. That you can either it can either be with cheese or also with what we call za'atar. Za'atar is like a kind of spice blend, aromatic spice blends. So what you see in the picture to the right is like one of the traditional Lebanese breakfast with all the vegetables, and also the white thing here is like we call it the Lebanese kind of yogurt that you can even find something similar in Greece and also in other countries. What's nice about it is that these manouche, you buy them directly from the baker's oven. You go to the oven, what we call furon in Lebanon, and there are these ovens everywhere in all the streets. You go in the morning, you buy one, you buy two for the family, and you eat them. Another breakfast that is very well known is what we call the knefe. It's the one you see to the left in the pictures to the left. So I wrote down what it is made of because I always forget. I don't even know what it's made of. So it's made with phyllo and cheese, and yeah. So basically, this is something very so delicious, and yeah, it's so delicious. That's all I can say. I mean, I just love going there during when I'm in Lebanon and eating every day. It's really a good, a very good breakfast. The picture to the right is just to show you some other types of breakfast because we often also eat meat during breakfast in Lebanon. So as you see to the of the picture to the right, you have the same manouche I told you about. However, it's not with cheese. There is meat inside it, which we call lahm b'ajin. It's like bread and meat. So these are some of the typical Lebanese breakfasts. Lebanese cuisine is a mixture of, because as I told you, lots of civilizations came to Lebanon, and it's the mixtures of all these civilizations, what these civilizations kept in Lebanon. This mixtures created the Lebanese cuisine. Here you can find, there's an article that I found that was really interesting on in Forbes Life that is entitled "Lebanon, the greatest food and wine country you've never visited." As you see, it's really a very colorful cuisine. I mean, just look at the pictures, all the colors inside it. Very healthy cuisine. And since I am, and just let me continue here. Okay, we have the seed. Just I'm gonna see what's next. Okay, so also seafood in Lebanon is very well known, especially like on the coastal cities, in Batroun, in Byblos, in Saida, even in Beirut. You have lots of restaurants where you can have really delicious seafood, seafood fresh from the sea. In addition to all this, you have also desserts that my colleagues at work always ask me to bring when I'm when I'm coming from Lebanon. So these are like the picture you see to the left is one of the like these are the shops where you can find sweets in Lebanon. You have the names here. You have the baklawa, which is similar a bit to what you can find in Greece. Also, you have the mamoul, you have the atayef. And in addition, here you have special desserts and sweets. These ones are so delicious, but these ones are usually made only during specific holidays. Like you can find them during Easter time, during Ramadan time, when you can find these sweets. Otherwise, very little places do them. They are really only for very known religious holidays in Lebanon. And before moving on, just because as I told you, the drinking scene is Lebanon. There's also lots of things to drink. So there are also Lebanese beer, there's Lebanese wine, and there's also the Lebanese Arab. The picture to the left is this is basically my father. The Lebanese Arab is a very traditional Lebanese drink. There are something similar in Greece and also in other Mediterranean countries. To be honest, I don't remember right how it's done, but I know that you take the grapes, you know, and you put them in this machine that you find in the picture, and where my father is working, and you lit the fire, and then there's some process to do, and the liquid that comes out, you mix it with water, and it becomes a white liquid, as you see in the picture here to the bottom right, and this is how the Lebanese traditional drink, the Lebanese arak, is made. My father, for example, he makes his own arak. As you see in the pictures, he has the machine and everything. So whenever he goes to a restaurant, he never takes arak from the restaurant. He takes his bottle of arak with him because he only drinks his own arak. And here are some pictures also of street food cuisine in Lebanon that you can find all the streets of Beirut, in Jemaizi Street, in Hamra Street, all the streets that I told you about, where you can just grab a sandwich of falafel, like the ones you see to the top right, you know, a quick sandwich of falafel, of meat, of everything, and you eat them on the road, of shawarma. Lebanon is very well known for the street food that is really so delicious. And now I know, Marwan, do you want, because this is your part, if you want to talk a bit about Lebanese wine?
Yes, welcome everybody. As you can see behind me is the temple of Baalbek. I am actually sitting in the middle of the temple of Baalbek.
So, I didn't travel to Lebanon, Marwan.
Yeah, thank you, Saeed, for the invitation very much, and for a beautiful presentation. My part is really very small. I would tell you a little bit about Lebanese wine, and I'll tell you a little bit about my story. When I was little, everybody was telling me, oh, Lebanese wine is the best in the world. I mean, I was like 8 or 9. It's really good. You try it. And I said, I need really to learn about this. So I decided when I came to the West to start studying wine and learn about wine. And indeed, I can tell you, I learned a lot about the best quality of Lebanese wine. And I'd like to share with you some of this knowledge I gained. So, Lebanon is, stay there, Saeed, back on the bottom map. Any wine, I have 10 minutes, so I'm going to try to be fast. As you can see, Lebanon is just a point on the map, okay? Each county, we have a different name for each county. Each county in Lebanon is actually also a wine region. So it's very traditional that we say this county is the wine region, this is the wine region of Bekaa Valley, this is the Mount of Lebanon, this is the north. So it's nice and naturally split. And it is in the right equator, in the right latitude and longitude to produce a good quality wine. Next slide, please. Okay, so in terms of heritage, we have been doing wine since the Phoenician time. So 5,000 years of tradition. Even the Romans were very tricky, the Romans, because they used to take old wines and put it in the temple, and then they shipped it to Rome. So you could imagine those days how dear this wine entering the table of the Romans of those days. And we carried on this tradition up to today. Next slide. Okay, so this is the same thing. In the majority are, if you look on the right, is the Bekaa Valley. It is above Zahle, which Saeed mentioned. It's a beautiful city, Zahle, you should visit. And it's actually experimenting with the new terroir of the Lebanon, makes this region is very fertile in terms of producing good quality wine. Remember, the mountain is above sea level, 1,000 above sea level, so you can grow the varieties like Malbec, or you can have a good quality Carte Sauvignon and this kind of combination. We use international varieties as well. Okay, so in terms of, you can see how beautiful the land is. On the right hand side, you have the Mediterranean Sea. The wind hits the Mediterranean coast, it goes into the mountain, and behind it is the Bekaa Valley. It's protecting all this terroir from this hot climate, and is producing this good quality of wine. Next slide. So this is the same writing. They are in the 1990s. There has been a lot of new wineries being introduced into the country. Next slide. Okay, so before I move into I'm gonna go very fast with the food. You saw all those lovely dishes which Said presented, and try to present you with one bottle of Lebanese wine to try to match it with food, because you have a lot of food, beautiful food. You need also beautiful wine. So you can see in our cuisine we use the parsley, the coriander, onion, garlic, a lot of small type of cumin, for example, we use. So this combination, I'll try to tell you, I will select a dish for you, and I'm gonna select also the wine to go with it. Next slide. Okay, we start with tabbouleh. Everybody knows tabbouleh. You've seen the pictures. You've eaten, I'm sure, quite a lot of restaurants. So I have selected for you today to go with the tabbouleh from a beautiful winery called Chateau Mozart. And I've selected the grape variety of Merwa and Obaida. Now, these are actually local Lebanese grapes. They are not grown anywhere in the world. So we are very proud of keeping those varieties up to today. And the way it works is you have high acidity in the tabbouleh, and you have lemon juice, okay? So, and you have tomato. So, and this particular wine will calm the garlic, for example, and the combination is very beautiful to have this kind of wine, which is white wine that comes from the north. Okay, next. Although you can have also, sorry, you can have, if you look for international variety, you could go for Sauvignon Blanc, Riesling, or Gruner Veltliner. But I've selected one Lebanese bottle for you. Okay, next one. Everybody knows hummus. I've selected a beautiful winery in the north from Batroun. You've seen Batroun is right in the north of the country. It's a mixture or a blend of Syrah and Caladoc. Caladoc is a French grape variety. Is a mixture between Cape Franc and Syrah, I believe. Yeah, and it goes very well with these varieties. And the way it works is, again, you have the hummus is very creamy. You're gonna cut through it. The creaminess and the roundness of the hummus give this grape variety beautiful combination. Okay, next. Okay, now baba ghanoush, everybody knows this. It is made out of eggplants, and we put also tahini. You mix it beautifully, and it has a smokiness, very nice smoky flavor. Okay, so I've selected the beautiful Chateau Mozart again, and this one it's a kind of a Bordeaux style, because in Lebanon we do Bordeaux style wine. We kept the tradition from the early days where there was some French influence. They taught us some during the early, before the 90s, how to actually make the wine. So we make one grape mixture exactly like the Bordeaux style. So the baba ghanoush goes nicely with this particular one, which is Cape Sauvignon, Cape Franc, and it makes the alcohol not so high, and because of the tannin you have in the wine, it makes a really beautiful combination. You can also have a rosé wine, also from the same chateau. Last one. Okay, everybody knows about mashawi. You have been in Lebanese restaurant probably. You have the kafta, you have the shawarma. It's all nice grill, and we tend to mix them like this to make this kind of a beautiful plate. For this one, I've chosen for you a beautiful winery called Adyar. The Adyar is actually the monks. You know, the Belgium have the beer, the monks make the beer. In Lebanon, we have the monks also make beautiful wine. And this one comes from the the north region from the monastery of Anya, and the 2012 bottle are selected. So as you know, you could also select Malbec, Cabernet Sauvignon, or Tempranillo if you go for the international grape variety. If you've been to a Lebanese restaurant, you could ask first for Lebanese bottle, or you could ask for the other varieties. So the dark fruits in this wine and the tannin will cut through the fat in the meat, as you know, and the fruit will bring the spices and the rustness of the flavor in the mashawi. We normally have the mashawi right at the end of the meal if you start with meza. I normally like to have it at the end, not to mix it in between. So I try my red wine. I think that's the last slide for me. I just want to tell you there are some references which is at the end. If you really want to know about Lebanese wine, there's only one place. You go to the Union Vinicole du Liban, and you go there and you find all the Lebanese wineries. And this is very easy to find because you can visit those wineries if you are in Lebanon. And I can recommend a few wineries to visit if you like. Okay, that's all.
Thank you so much, Marwan, for your expert view on wine of Lebanon. So now I'm going to show you a video of 3 minutes about food in Lebanon that might explain food better than I did, because I'm not really a cook or anything. And then we move to the last part of the presentation, a small part, and then we move to your questions. I'm going to launch the video, the link, this one. Oh, okay. Just a sec. I'm gonna stop sharing a second just to. Okay, got the video. One sec. I'm gonna reshare my screen. Marwan, can you tell me if the video is working?
Food is in all aspects of a person's life in Lebanon. Lebanon has been like a melting pot for the Middle East, you know, for travelers, for the Mediterranean area. So each civilization has brought recipes, their way of doing. So we have gathered all this know-how and we've used it in our cuisine.
The thing about the Lebanese people, they're all major foodies. It's an amazing and interesting thing, no matter what the tastes and flavor are. Every single Lebanese person is a foodie.
I think there is a universal respect for food amongst the Lebanese, and there's a great nationalistic pride when it comes to food.
The difference between Lebanese food and, let's say, food in Europe or in the United States is the variety of fresh ingredients that you have. And those basic ingredients you can do so much with.
Let's say you're going to have breakfast and you're going to have a manouche. Most manouche joints are owned and operated by the owner and maybe aided by a couple of other teammates. But not one will taste the same as other. That's why I think that applies to burgers and other dishes. So that's what characterizes, I would say, cuisine here in Lebanon. Why did I decide to come back to Beirut and open the restaurant here is because of the easygoing nature of people here. Just being able to hug a person as they enter, calling them out by their first name, it's just this street nature of restaurants here, even if it's a high-end restaurant.
I used to live in America, and coming here, I lost 10 pounds. Naturally, without doing anything, because the diet here is a healthy diet.
One of the wonderful things about the drinking scene in Lebanon, there is something for everybody. We have a fantastic sort of local beer industry. which is growing. Excellent wines in Lebanon. Some of the best wines that I've had are coming out of these small boutique sort of wineries. Regardless of what you want to experience, it is available.
Seafood cuisine in Lebanon, it's a unique cuisine throughout the Middle East, which is, I think ours is more wild, and you taste the freshness of the sea, that kind of taste.
We live the basics here and we're still living them. Regardless of globalization, regardless of fast foods entering our country, regardless, we're still going through that.
One of the few things I remember is I used to go out fishing with the old fishermen. Small boats would go out just outside the port, and they throw the nets in and come back and go out and a couple hours later to bring the fish in. And that was that was one of the great memories I have.
With food, you can disarm anyone. Food is the common denominator for the Lebanese. It's our common language.
I think love is expressed through food in this country. I think everybody should come to Lebanon to experience the hospitality of the Lebanese, their love for life expressed through their food and expressed through their celebration is second to none.
And here it is. So let me just find my presentation again. And we're arriving to the last part of our presentation. It's going to be a quick part before going to the Q&A question, which is the Lebanese nightlife and concerts. Lebanon has amazing nightlife. As I told you before, in Lebanon, we love to party a lot. We love to hang out a lot. A Monday is like a Saturday. When I was living in Lebanon, even though I was working every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, I was out for having a drink, partying with my friends. And the next day we go to work and we do it all again and again and again. There are lots of rooftop bars in Lebanon, as the ones you see in the pictures, here. There are lots of after party nightclubs. So the idea in Lebanon is that what we used to do, we go to bars at around 8 p.m. To 10, 11 p.m., midnight approximately. Then we go to a nightclub until 2, 3 in the morning, and then we go to another after party nightclub, like the one you see in the picture here, like it's called BO18, where you party until 6, 7 in the morning, and then go for a breakfast somewhere, because basically around Beirut and in all major cities, all restaurants, all kiosks, food kiosks and stuff are open approximately 24 hours. So even if you go at 4 in the morning, we used to party until 3 and then drive at 4 in the morning and eat a manouche or eat a knefe. There are literally everything in Lebanon concerning music, whichever music you might like, there is something for everyone. In addition to all this, you have all the concerts that happen in Lebanon. As I told you before, when we were talking about the Baalbek, there's the Baalbek International Festival. So every major city in Lebanon during summertime has its own international festival, where there are national and international artists that come from all over the world in order to do concerts. The pictures you see in the bottom left is a picture from Jounia Bay, the city that is like 30 minutes from Beirut. And this city every year, in order to launch summer celebrations, they do a huge fireworks from boats in the sea, actually in the bay, for about 10 minutes in order to launch the summer celebrations and the summer international festivals. In addition to all this, swimming in Lebanon is basically partying. You know, I myself, it's not in our culture to really go to the sea to swim. We go to the sea to party. Most the places where we go, such as what you see in the pictures, are private places where we go into the pools, and you have bars inside the pools. So as you see, everyone is walking inside the pool with a glass of wine, with a glass of whiskey, and you have a DJ, and we are partying all day long while we are in the pool and we are next to the sea. This is the culture that we have, basically. I rarely go to the sea just to swim. We go to the sea in order to party, and it's really in our culture. And another place that I would like to recommend if you ever go to Lebanon, it's this place that's called Anforini. It's to the north of Beirut. It's called Anforini just for a very simple reason, because it's very similar to Santorini in Greece. It's a very nice coast where you have all the houses that were built and painted in white and blue, and this is why they call the place Anforini. It's an area called Anfe, and where you can enjoy really delicious seafood. Before going to the bonus, I have one video to show you. Let me find it, and then we'll go to, and then we'll end the presentation with the bonus and the last video. Yeah, I'm not sure if to this. Just a sec. Just on this YouTube. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Where was I? Yeah, let's do this.
There's definitely a place, a bar, a kind of party for every single type of person. Some of the strength of the Lebanese nightlife scene is that it's very creative. It's always looking for new ideas and new concepts because it's a small crowd that easily gets bored. And so you, in order to cater to that same crowd, you always have to come up with new ideas.
It's a country of people that love to go out. I think we're good in what we do. I think we're good in creating a beautiful setup and a whole ambiance for these people. And I think that people are becoming much more creative, and it has also took our nightlife to a different level, you know?
What makes the Beirut nightlife scene very diverse is basically two main things. The first one being that it caters to all kinds of people. Live music lovers, DJ lovers, people who want to go clubbing, people who want to go just enjoy a drink in a bar, people who want to go eat. And at the same time, the other aspect for me is the constant novelty and the creativity in terms of new places, new party concepts.
You can really find parties everywhere and all kinds of parties, camping, festivals, food stuff, here and there, beach, mountains, underground, anything.
I would say the overall experience is a very intense one because of a lot of components that come together.
There's no regulation for closing time. So as long as we have clients, we can open till next morning. Some places used to give breakfast. I mean, this was very trendy in the 70s. My father had a club, and they used to give manouche, the kind of Lebanese pizza, at 5 a.m.
I feel that what makes the nightlife scene here have this specific pulse, if you want, or vibrance to it, is the fact that it's a small city. You always have somebody to pick you up. You always have a friend who's going to a party. There's nothing better than being drunk when your favorite song comes on and then you look around and you're surrounded by people you love. And you have a lot of that here.
Music scene is very diversified because the Lebanese people are open to other cultures. You have people who sing in French, people who sing in English, of course in Arabic, and also you have the other minorities. You have Kurdish music.
I have some internet problems, so I'm just gonna stop the video, but you got the idea. Just a sec. Okay, so back to now to the last part of my presentation. It's like just a bonus part of some personal experiences, some personal pictures of Lebanon when tourists used to come, because I was an organizer of couch surfing events in Lebanon. So the pictures you are seeing here are pictures from 2015, where I took a group of tourists to Byblos, during Christmas time, and we're about 25 people approximately. We enjoyed all the Christmas decorations, and then I remember the picture to the bottom left. You see, we were 7 who wanted to go continue partying in Beirut, and there was only my car. So we were like 7 people inside my car, 2 people up front and 4 in the back. And we went to Beirut. I remember we partied. There were people from basically many nationalities, and we partied until like 4 in the morning. It was one hell of a party that night. This is just to show you a bit about really life from a personal view in Lebanon. These are all the board games. We used to go for board games, and then after board games, we finish at like 1, 2 in the morning. And then at 2 in the morning, we go to a restaurant and we eat until 3 in the morning. And then we go either to have a drink or to or back home to sleep. The picture you see in the middle is a picture we took with. So basically, I have this, my friend, like from right to left, from Germany, from Syria, and from Poland. She was a girl who came on, who used to work with Emirates Airlines. She was there for like one night in Lebanon. So we went all of us to party. In this picture, we took it at 4 in the morning. After partying, we're so hungry, and we went to eat this this knefe, you know, the Lebanese breakfast I told you about. This was taken at 4 in the morning. Some really amazing souvenirs. And one last thing, I promised you pictures of our house in the mountain in Lebanon. This is our house in the mountain, and if any of you ever come to Lebanon, you are all more than welcome into our house for a day where we can do barbecue and stuff. These are the pictures to the left. I told you my father sent them to me with all the snow. Nowadays, it's completely covered with snow, and the pictures to the right are during springtime and during summertime, where we basically spend all weekends there. So this was it. Now just one last compilation video that my friend Marwan prepared. I told him we're gonna end it with this one. After this video, we're going to questions, to prepare questions, and we're gonna try to answer them all. This one, I think I downloaded it. Yeah, it's just here. Yeah.
Right, the video need to be done again. Yep.
It's not playing.
It's not playing now.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing like before and share again. Okay, and we're gonna share again. Is it playing now, Marwan?
Yes, yes.
And that's it. Now stop my screen sharing. Thank you everyone who stayed with us until now. And Marwan, you're still here?
So I'm still here. Yep.
Yeah. How do we unmute? Yeah, now. Thank you so much.